So a bit about myself. I am last year's CLP graduate, and before that, I have had work experience at a conveyancing firm, and that has helped me understand how land dealings are carried out in real life. So the purpose of this talk is to help candidates visualize the terms commonly found in land law questions and also spread the knowledge on land to general public. So whether you are a homeowner or not, I think everyone would benefit from this. Conveyancing and land are usually mentioned together because conveyancing is a branch of law that deals with the transfer of property. And most commonly, the property that is being transferred is land. In Malaysia, all lands are vested in the state authority. That means all lands belongs to the state's government, and each state or negeri govern their land through their own land office. Then how can we own a piece of land to our name? That is through alienation, which means the state can grant to a person a land forever or for a maximum of 99 years. Forever is freehold, leasehold is for 99 years maximum. And in return, the landowner has to pay the government cukai tanah. In English, it's quit rent. That is the rent to use that land, and it is paid annually. Next, how can we formally or officially prove we own a piece of land? We must make sure that our name is registered on the land title, or commonly called geran tanah. It is not sufficient that we have signed the sale and purchase agreement or we have paid the price to the seller. We must 100% make sure that our name and details are registered on that geran itself. And that is the importance of Section 340 in the National Land Code. So now we can analyze a sample land title together. Land titles are issued by our state. So each state or negeri has different colored paper for the land title. For example, on the screen, although it may not be obvious, this is a land title from Malacca and it is in the color yellow. And in some other states, they are blue and purple. But that difference is limited to color only. The content is still the same because we all use the format prescribed in the National Land Code. As you can see from above, National Land Code, Kanun Tanah Negara. The title format is in accordance with Borang 11AE of the National Land Code. For those of you who have that National Land Code, you can find it at the first schedule. This land title is Hak Milik Sementara Daftar, and it is a qualified title as opposed to a final title. Qualified title means that the land has yet to be formally surveyed. The area of the land is not final. However, the owner can still deal with the land, like charge or transfer it. It is just the name. After the land office has formally surveyed the land, it will issue a final title. It usually takes a few months or years to do that. And when that time comes, you can take this title to the land office and exchange it there. So they will issue and print the title with the word Geran on your land title. So it's not Sementara anymore. The effect is essentially the same. It is just a difference of the wording and the administrative functions that the land office has yet to complete. So if you see the word Geran, G-R-A-N, on the title, it means freehold. And if you see Pajakan, it means leasehold. So on this title, the word Geran is missing at the top. But how can we know it is freehold? It is mentioned here. It is a Geran untuk selama-lamanya, freehold. When a land is alienated, the government decides if this land is managed by the registry or the land office. Registry and land office, their job is essentially the same. It is just, you can think of it like which department, registry or land office that manages your land. And your land title will tells you that. The other difference is that if a case arises or a dispute arises concerning the land title, for registry, it can only be heard in High Court, and for land office title, it must be heard in the land office. Here, it tells you the title number is HSD, Hak Milik Sementara Daftar, number 24, and then it is Plat Tanah 91. It is located in Mukim, Jasin, Daerah Jasin, Negeri Melaka. That is how we usually specify the title of the land. And from here you can see by owning this land, you have to pay the state government cukai tanah of this amount. This land is 165 square meters and it is used as a building. The ID Hamile below the barcode is like the identification number of this land title. So just now, I mentioned that there's a qualified title and a final title. Qualified title is like this one. It means the land hasn't been surveyed by the land office, so it will specify it is HSD or HSM. This one is HSD and it is a registry title. So Pejabat Tanah dan Galian, the registry, manages this land. And if it shows HSM, it is managed by Pejabat Daerah dan Tanah, which is the land office. Their job is kind of the same, just different department manages different piece of land. And after they formally surveyed the piece of land, this one will change to Geran. And if it is a leasehold, here it will show 99 years or how many years the lease has left, and it will change to Bajakan Negeri. If this piece of land is managed by the land office, it will show Geran Mukim. And for leasehold, Bajakan Mukim. This is a continuation of the land title. It is still the first page, just the bottom part of it. So from here, we know that after the SMP was signed and the purchaser has paid the money to the seller, the purchaser's lawyer registered the new purchaser's name on this title on this date. didaftarkan, registered. So their name will show behind this title. The name is usually at page 2, so this is still page 1. And this title was issued on this date. Pelan tanah, land plan. It tells you that there's a illustration plan for this land. It will be shown in borang, in a borang, which will be shown later in detail. So if we study from top to bottom, here it contains more details of this piece of land. It says that it can only be used as a commercial building, kedai or pejabat perniagaan sahaja, like shop or office. Sekatat kepentingan, restriction in interest. This shows that this is a Code B land. Code B means anyone can own it. Code A is reserved for Bumi Putra only. So this one can be owned by non-Bumi Putra as well, this piece of land. Later on, still at the restriction in interest, it tells you tanah ini tidak boleh dipindah milik, transfer, dipajak, lease, atau digadai, charge, kecuali dengan kebenaran pihak berkuasa negeri without the state's consent. We cannot do these 3 things on this land. Hence, if you want to transfer or lease the land to someone or charge the land to a bank, you must apply for the state's consent, pihak berkuasa negeri's consent. If this pihak berkuasa negeri, the state, doesn't allow you to do so, you cannot transfer it to the purchaser, which means the sale and purchase has to fail. This is page 2 of the land title, and at the top, it is a continuation of the restriction in interest. It says, sekatan kepentingan ini dikecualikan oleh pembeli pertama. That means that if I am the first purchaser, I can transfer, lease, or charge this land without obtaining the state's consent. As I am the first purchaser that bought this land from the developer, I don't need the state consent to transfer it from the developer's name to my name, because I am pembeli pertama. However, if I were to sell it to a subsequent purchaser, they are pembeli kedua, and they need the state consent to do this transfer. This line, dalam penatanah, dalam borang B2I, sempadan-sempadan, the borders of this land, yang ditunjukkan dengan warna merah, belum ditetapkan secara ukur dan adalah sementara sahaja. It tells you this is a temporary border of the land, and it will show you in an illustration later, which is marked as red color. Then we can see record ketuan punyaan, the owner of this land's details. From here, we can see that this is the official proof that someone is the owner of that land. It will have the name of the owner, the part of the land that he owns, which is 1/1. Because sometimes there may be more than one person owning a land. For example, if 4 people owns the same piece of land, one person's portion will show as 1/4 bahagian, and the other is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. In total, they make up 1. However, in this case, as there is only one person that owns this land, it is 1/1 bahagian. It will have your IC as well, and also your nationality. So if it is a foreigner that owns this piece of land, it will write usually their passport number and their nationality. And then the address of the owner. So once you bought a land and your name is registered on the title as told by your lawyer, you still have to check and make sure that all the information is accurate, especially your name and IC. As it is still a human keying in this info in the land office, there might be some error sometimes. So we have to check it ourselves to make sure that everything is accurate. At the bottom, it shows rekod urusan perkara lain yang melibatkan hak milik. Other matters that are related to this title. For example, it says that the cukai tanah for this land has been raised from 96 ringgit to 100 something. This was done in accordance to Section 101 of the National Land Code since 1st of January 2024. As per the government's Gazette number, this one, on the 27th of July 2023. This is a pelan tanah, as mentioned before. However, it is not the previous land titles land plan. This is a separate one, but almost all pelan tanah are similar. They are called borang B something. Almost all of them are similar, and they will show your title number. This one is GRN, Geran. So we know it's freehold, and it is at lot 3751. This one is yours, so it is highlighted. It is located at Mukim Tabo Naning, Daerah Alo Gajah, Negeri Melaka. This land is of 6,000 square meters. This plan shows roughly that area of your surrounding land. These are your neighbor's land, and yours is marked as green or yellow, depending on the color specified in the land title. For every landowner that owns a piece of land, we have to pay cukai tanah annually to the state government every year in exchange for owning the land. So the Kerajaan Negeri state government issues the cukai tanah bill for this land. The details on the cukai tanah bill are largely the same as your title, land title. It has ID hak milik, like the identification number of your title, and the account number that the land office uses to record your quit rent payment, your cukai tanah payment. It is usually the same as the ID hak milik. Then it shows maklumat pembayar dan alamat pembayar. The person that pays this quit rent bill. It can be the owner or his family or a stranger or a law firm that pays on behalf of the owner. Anyone can pay for this because if the owner of that land resides overseas and he asks his mother to pay the cukai tanah for him, the pembaya, his mother's name and address will appear on this bill. Maklumat tanah, information regarding the land. This is the land title, hak milik sementara daftar. Sementara, a qualified title, temporary qualified title, with the number 24, plat tanah PT, plat tanah 91, located in Mukim Jasin. And then Daerah Jasin, Negeri Melaka. This is how we usually name the land according to its title. And category here, it is classified as a building, bangunan. At the bottom part of the cukai tanah bill, it will show you how much you have to pay for the quit rent and whether there were any delayed payments, tunggakan. Gini sejak tahun, maybe someone has delayed the payment for a few years, it will all show up every year. This is the current payment. It is like the amount stated in the land title. So if you pay it sebelum atau pada, if you pay it before or on 31st of May, it is this amount. If you pay it after 31st of May, there will be a denda lewat penalty of this amount, and this will be the final amount that one has to pay. So if there's any tunggakan, it will accumulate every year until the amount is completely settled. We have talked about cukai tanah, and another thing that we often hear together is cukai pintu. The official name for it is actually cukai taksiran. In English, it's assessment tax. Almost all owners of buildings like private houses or commercial shop lots, offices, and industrial factories, they all have to pay cukai taksiran, assessment tax. It is paid to the local government twice a year. That is, on before or on 28th of February. And then another time that you have to pay is before or on 31st of August. They use this tax for waste collection, public park maintenance, or constructing public infrastructure and maintaining them, such as roads and street linings. This is a sample cukai taksiran bill of the first title that I mentioned just now, the yellow one, Malacca title. Although we usually say cukai pintu, layman term, it is not found in this cukai bill at all. The official term should be cukai taksiran, assessment tax. It is paid to the local government. In this case, it is Majlis Perbandaran Jasin. If it's a KL property, it's DBKL. Bil Cukai Taksiran Penggal Pertama 2026. It shows Penggal Pertama, the first phase, because this has to be paid twice a year. This is the bill for the first one, first stage. Unlike the Cukai Tanah bill, the Cukai Taksiran bill shows nama pemilik, the owner of the property's name and address. Hence, regardless who pays the bill, it will still show the owner's name here, pemilik. The next one, alamat harta. This one is important because this is the most accurate record of your property's address. It is according to this Cukai Taksiran bill. So maybe nombor 2 Jalan SBY, Taman SBY something. This is the most accurate address of your home. Because sometimes there are different spellings for the words, like kampong, some may spell it Kampong, some might spell it Kmpung. If it shows Kmpung on this bill, that is the official address of your house. Regardless of how you wrote it in the past, this is the record that you should follow or make sure. This bill is for phase 1, so it shows here January to June. And the lot number is as per the plat tanah on your land title. Over here, taksiran tahunan is how much you should pay for this year for the assessment tax. So you can see the assessment tax for phase 1 Penggal Pertama is 577.50 cents, and phase 2 it is the same amount. You can pay it in one go. So a lot of people might confuse Cukai Taksiran and Cukai Tanah. This local government specify at the lower left corner here, Cukai Taksiran bukan Cukai Tanah. They are separate. Cukai Tanah is paid to the state government. You can pay at the land office. Cukai Taksiran is paid to the local government, like DBKL. Earlier, when we talk about the lawyer registering the new purchaser's name on the land, when he does that, 2 documents will be produced. One is the land office own record, registered document of title. It is kept at the land office. And the second one is issued document of title. And we usually shorten it to title or land title. They actually contains the same information. It is just who keeps it. One is the land office that kept it, and the other one is the real owner that keeps it. So as the land office has this record, anyone, any stranger to the land who is curious about that piece of land can make an inquiry at the land office regarding that land. They can inspect it. any information regarding that land that the land office has. And that process is called land search. This is the sample of the land search result, Jarian. This land search was obtained from Penang, Seberang Perai Tengah's Land Office, Pejabat Daerah dan Tanah. It is a Section 384 private land search. Catatan Carian Persendirian means private search. The counterpart is Section 385 official search. In my experience, if you see if you flip to the National Land Code, it contains a lot of information regarding the land for the official search. However, in my experience, the details printed on these two land search, private search and official search, are largely the same. They contain similar information regarding the land, like who is the current owner, previous owner, whether this property is charged to bank. I think that the difference is just that for private land search, it is slightly cheaper, usually 30 ringgit. This amount varies according to each state's land office. And the private land search is printed on normal A4 paper. The official land search is printed on a slightly thicker paper, and the fee for it is slightly more expensive, maybe 50 ringgit. That is what I have seen so far. Let's dive into this land search, this private search, Catatan Carian Persendirian. We know that the title number is GM something. GM means Geran Mukim. Geran means it is freehold, and Mukim means it is a land office title. Whenever you see Mukim, it is a land office title. And the lot number, Geran Mukim something, lot something, and petak number, nombor petak. It will be a number here, or alphabet. Because this petak number was absent from the previous title because that one is individual title, landed property, and this one is strata title, hak milik strata. You can see at the above. The simple explanation for the difference between strata title and the usual individual title is that imagine a bar of chocolate is the taman. For usual landed taman houses, let's say I reside here, 1, 2, 3, I reside here, and my neighbors, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our own piece of land, rectangular. My title number will be Geran 1, Lot 1, and my neighbor will be Geran 1, Lot 2, and so on. However, for strata title owners, they usually own an apartment with multiple stories building. So on a small piece of land, 10 people will actually be staying here in different stories. The whole land is called Geran 1, Lot 1. How to differentiate each owner's title in this apartment, there's something extra called petak parcel, petak. Hence, in this whole apartment building, my title number is Geran 1, Lot 1, Petak 1. And my neighbor is Geran 1, Lot 1, Petak 2. Petak is the difference. Since we all apartment owners don't own this entire piece of land, we co-own it together. We don't pay cukai tanah. It is not called cukai tanah, the quit rent that we pay, because we don't own the tanah. We own the parcel, petak. So what we pay is called parcel rent. The concept is the same as cukai tanah. It is just the difference in the name. Landed property owner pays quit rent, cukai tanah. We pay parcel rent, cukai petak. Back to this title, we know that it is 533 square meters wide. It is a leasehold selama-lamanya. It was registered on this date, 2015. The parcel rent that they pay, cukai petak, is 176. This is the bottom part of the title. It has syarat nyata, express conditions of this strata title, which tells you what this land is meant to be used for. Tanah ini hendaklah digunakan untuk tujuan kediaman sahaja. This is for residential homes, or tanah ini hendaklah digunakan untuk tujuan perniagaan sahaja. It can be used for commercial purpose, such as shop houses, rumah kedai. It also specifies the other uses for this land. Tanah ini hendaklah digunakan untuk tujuan tangki najis, tapak pencawang elektrik, dewan orang ramai, surau, dan lain-lain sahaja. It has the other uses, such as for public infrastructure, as specified here. At the bottom, it will contain pemilikan dan alamat, the owner and the address. From here, we know there are 1, 2, 3, three co-owners of this apartment or shop. Their details are here. It will have their name, their IC, and their address. Then you will see here, nombor PERS means perserahan, which means when I serah or present this application to transfer to the land office, I present this application to the land office to tell them to transfer the title to my name, the new owner's name. The presentation number assigned to me, to my application, is this one, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have a significant meaning, just for administrative purpose, like what number is your application. It is just that. Pindah milik tanah, transfer. We know this is a transfer of property matter, and it is oleh from this person, which is a company, syarikat. It owns the whole property, 1/1. Syarikat number will be specified here, the Syarikat's name. This old owner is the company, and it sell the property, transfer the property to three new owners, 1, 2, 3, who are individual. So you will see nombor kad pengenalan, IC number to identify these three person. This will be the new co-owner's name and address. They are the same as the above. The above is the current owner, and this one, Lion, it tells you what happened to this land before there were three new owners. So there was a transfer, that's why their name is on this title as new owners. And this application was done on December 2016 at this time. Further down, there is another nombor perserahan, another application. What is that application? Gadaian meminjam wang pokok, which means the property was simultaneously charged to the bank. When was this done? When the lawyer present this application at the land office to register the new owner's name, at the same time, it informs the land office that the owners obtain a loan from the bank to purchase this property. So there are two perserahan. I tell the land office I want to transfer, and I also want to inform the land office that I will charge this property to the bank. I inform the land office that the owner obtained a loan from the bank to purchase this property. The bank loans money to the owner. And what was the consideration in exchange? That is the bank's name on this title. The bank loans money, so it has the right to have his name, the name on this title. The bank Gadaian charge. The land office will register the three new owners' name first. Company transfer to three new owner. I am the new owner. I charge this property to the bank. Gadai. I gadai property ini to the bank to obtain the loan. So gadaian ini was oleh the three new owner kepada the bank. And the bank keeps the original title. Because, yeah, it keeps the original title. What can it do? It can manage the property, such as selling it off if the owners don't pay the loan on time. Lei long, order for sale, the bank can do that. If the three owners dutifully paid their loan and finally settled the loan sum with the bank will return this original title to the law firm. Usually it is the law firm that manages all this perserahan application. The bank will ask the lawyer to start the discharge process. That is, to ask the land office to remove the bank's name on the title. Because the bank has already received the loan, the amount, full amount, it has no interest in this land at all. It wants to discharge itself from this title. The land office will issue a new title with the three owners' name only. This one. The title will just have this. And the bank's name will disappear. The property completely belongs to the three owners in the discharge, after the discharge process. The land office will return the original title with the new names, the three names only, to the owners. As mentioned previously, there are only two titles in this world, RDT. One is kept at the land office, and the other one is issued to the owner. Although there are three legal owners here, only one original title is issued by the land office. So the three co-owners have to discuss who keeps the original title. It is very important to safekeep the title, as it is the only and the most powerful proof that you own this property. So do not chonteng it, write anything on it, or laminate it, as that will be considered rosak. Just keep it as it is. A normal A4 paper is the land title. Lastly, there is this hak milik yang terdahulu. This is the old title number. The previous one is this one, and it has changed since they issued the final title after the survey is done by the land office. This one doesn't really come out in the CLP exam. The most important thing is you know how this all works. Gadaian transfer. That is all. This is the summary of today's talk. We learn about qualified title and the final title, registry title, land office title. Don't worry too much about the difference. You just know these two, they are just different departments that manage the land. I have a land that may belong to this one. You also have a land that may belong to this one. There's not much difference, just whether the registry managed my land or the land office. It was assigned since the beginning. And we read the whole land title, Cukai Tanah Bill, Quit Rent Bill, Assessment Tax Bill, and also private land search, official land search. They are largely the same. And also slightly touching on the strata title. Next week, I will provide the sample form for this process. Transfer 14A, Form 14A, and we usually call it Memorandum of Transfer. But the English word is not on the form because the whole form is in Malay. So it is called Borang 14A, Borang Pindah Milik. Charge to bank, Gadai. That is also another form for it. 16A. Pajak. This one is, I lease the land for more than 3 years. Less than 3 years is tenancy agreement. I don't have to go through the whole land office process like presentation. And for every form that I have to send to the land office, I have to pay the stamp duty for it. It is like the official announcement. I tell the government that I am intending to complete this transaction. Here are my documents. So when they look at the documents, for each document they verify, I have to pay the stamp duty and on HDA. So to elaborate a bit on the previous one, transfer. The form is 14A, this one is 16A. So when the three owners lawyer present the application to the land office, it will bring these two forms, 14A and 16A together. The land office will do the transfer first. Transfer the name from the syarikat to the three new owners. And then after the three new owners own the land, it will charge it to the bank. The bank's name will appear. We do this all in one go. The land office do all of this in one go. And then the title issue will have the transfer and the charge. Okay, these are some references that I have while preparing these presentations. Okay, that's all. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, for A's question, let me go back to this one. A asks, just to clarify, for registry title and land office title are both under land office but different department. In Malacca, it is actually quite small. That is an entire building. So the registry is maybe at second floor and then the land office is on the first floor. So if we have HSD title, we go to the registry, pejabat registry. And then if we have urusan for HSM title, we go to the land office. They manage the same thing. For some other states, there will be separate buildings for it. But they essentially does the same thing. Does that clarify your question, A? Okay, I will end in a bit. So if you have any other questions or things that you would like to visualize while reading the past year question, you can't quite connect the dots together, two and two, you can let me know. I will try to insert it in the next presentation. Thank you. See you next week. And good luck on CLP if you are a candidate. Don't give up, never give up, okay? You can still study for it. There is always time for it. Right now. Don't give up. Never give up, okay? Okay, I will end the talk here. Bye bye, everyone.